Okay, welcome to this course, Server Administration. There are some people I have on my list that are not here. Do you know anything about someone who should be here, we don't see here? They will come. Okay. Too early in the morning, perhaps. Okay, so today is just going to be an introduction to the course. And this is what we'll go through. The planning of the course, we have 5 different modules, and we have an lab environment in a cloud solution that we have built in Kalmar that you are going to use when you are setting up your environment. That's not operation now. We have some trouble with it, but we are working on it. But I think I have some assignments for you for this week, so you don't have to be that relaxed. My name is Jacob Lindhoff, and as I said, I'm the course coordinator for this course, and I'm stationed in Kalmar. I won't be here that much, but we have a lab assistant here. That's cool. Maybe you want to say something? You have taken the course before?
Oh, yeah.
So all the information will come through the course homepage. In Kalmar, we at computer science, we usually don't use my Moodle. We use another system called CoursePress. I don't know if you have taken any courses in that system. It's fairly easy. You don't have to log in to anything. It's an open system. You can access all the materials anywhere in the world. And all the materials will be on this site that you need for fulfilling this course. We'll also be able to register for labs and seminar groups. We'll have 2 groups. I hope you're quite a lot of people. I didn't expect that for this course, but so we will see if we have to divide the seminar groups maybe into 3 groups instead of 2, because in this large group, most of you won't even be able to get one question. So probably we'll split it up in 3 groups. So I haven't put up the groups yet. But in the labs, you have a computer hall for this, but there you can be in just 2 groups, I think. I will put up, and you have to be registered on the course to be able to register for a lab group or a seminar group. But I will register you, or Eva will, after this lecture. If you have questions, I would encourage you to use Slack. Have you used Slack before? Everyone? Is there anyone who hasn't used it before? 1, 2. Okay. So Slack is a communication platform, and we have, let's see if I can show you it. You can run it in a browser or via an application on your computer. You have to register for a specific URL that will be posted on the homepage. And when you registered, you can subscribe to different channels. And we have 1 channel for this course. So all questions about this that are of general purpose, if you are stuck on a lab and you don't have any lab time now, you can post questions here, and you can help each other, or Petko and I can help you. So it's just a flow of information. We don't pay for the system, so after 10,000 posts, they will be forgotten. So you won't be able to see last year's information here. The system can also be integrated with different other systems. As you can see here, when I post something on GitHub, some changes on the course homepage, which are hosted on GitHub, you will get an update on this flow also. And you can integrate it with a lot of different systems. But you will only use this for communication if you have problems or stuff like that. It's open for all the students, so don't put any personal or private matters here. Then you should email me as a course coordinator if you're having problems or something like that. And it's fairly simple to go to the course homepage. This is the course homepage. Here we have the first module published. It's not completed yet, so there will be 4 more modules after this one. We have a link for the Slack channel. When you press that, you would get to a login page, but since I'm logged in, I will get directly to that channel. So you don't have to use any applications. You can just use the web browser as you're choosing. But it's important that you don't go to slack.com and register for an account, because all teams have different accounts. So you have to use this coursepress.slack.com, and there you can register for an account if you don't have one already. But if you follow this link, then you won't be able to sign in if you don't have an account, and just create an account, and that will work, hopefully. What else can you find here? You can find a module overview. I will go over this in just a couple of minutes. But each module will have the same structure. You have an overview of the module, what will be discussed in it, and what you will learn. Each module has some sort of lab. I haven't published it yet because we have to change the old way we did labs. We used VMware Workstation before. So it's quite a big difference for me to change the lab documents, but for you it will be about the same. You will learn. And then we have a seminar for each module. Here you have questions, and we have some deadlines. So it's mandatory to attend the seminars. If you won't be able to, if you're sick or some other reason, then you should contact me or Petko telling us that, and then you will have to write a written report about that seminar. I say that it will be much easier to attend the seminar because we have a lot of questions. If you're not attending, then you will have to answer everyone. But if you're there, you only will be picked for some of the questions. You need to know the answer of everyone, but you don't need to write a full report about them anyway. So that's published now, I hope. Oh, it's downloaded and on the other screen. And just an introduction and then a lot of questions. So as you see, it's much easier to attend the seminar and to write a report about this. And the whole of this course is quite practical. It's really hands-on. I encourage you to do the seminar questions first before you start with the lab, because you learn about the different objectives of the lab during the seminar questions. So you will start with that this week. And then in the last, we have some study materials. We have a literature, which I will come to. So I have pointed you to some chapters in that book. And then we have, instead of me having lectures, this is probably be the only lecture that we have like this. I will post short videos or links to other videos that discuss these topics. So not a lot of room lectures, if we say it like that. But there are so much material out on the internet about server administration. I don't see the point of me standing here and talking about it. I will get you the resources you need. That's for the home page. We can actually look at the literature. I got an email from one of you who asked about the book. It's in the syllabus, and it states that it's the last edition. I didn't know that they have come out with the new edition last year, in the end of last year. It was in November. So if you have the old one, has anyone the old one, the second edition? Good, because they changed a lot in the new one, and the new one is really good. So you should get that one. And it's quite a big book. It's around 1,200 pages, but we won't. I think it will be a good book for you to have anyway, if you don't even go through all of the chapters in this course. It's not specific to any operating system. It's talked general about administration, what you need and tools you can use. It's a really good book. And it's not that expensive, 400 kronor, something like that.
That's a link to the new version.
I hope so. Let's. Yeah, that's the latest one. But if you get it as a PDF or something like that, that's up to you. It's a good book, and I think it's a good read. But remember, this will look like this. It should be the 3rd edition, not the 2nd. The 2nd edition has, I think it's come out 10 years ago, something like that. But it wasn't a bad book because it was written really general about administration. So I said Slack for general questions will be answered there. So if you have something that you think that these questions may be interesting for anybody else, then you should post it there, not a personal email to me, because the other people can't read the answer of that email. So I encourage you to use Slack. Okay, the planning, I've gone through this. We talked about the homepage. The first module is about installation and basic configuration of the server. So it's going on for 2 weeks. That's a bit long actually for this part, but since we don't have the system up and running today, and it's the start of the course, we have expanded that a bit. So you will learn about the difference between the server and the client, and how to use our cloud solution. The problem with most of the cloud solutions, not the problem, but they usually use templates for machines. So you never install a system. You just grab, oh, I want an Ubuntu 16.04, and then you get an Ubuntu. You don't have to go through the installation process. But it could be good to run through an installation process if you never have done that. How many of you have installed a server operating system? Okay, so that's not even half of you. Most of the time it's just click, 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 finish, but it's good to know what's about. So I will post a video when I use something called VirtualBox. It's a virtualization product that you can use on your own computer. How many of you have an own computer here or at home? Someone who don't have an own computer? Good, because then you can download, it's a free software, you can download that and try and install Windows Server and some Linux server, just to get a feeling of it, how does it work. And I have a video tutorial that I will post that I use for another course, so maybe you hear something about course specific stuff in that video, but just ignore that part. But I think it's quite clean, so you will be able to install one Ubuntu server and one Windows server. And maybe you ask yourself, well, how would you get Windows Server? That's a licensed product, but they have evaluation that you can use for half a year. So I will go through in that video how you download that and how you use those files. But that won't be a part of the lab assignment actually. So Packlub can't reassess that if you have done that, but I encourage you to do that, so you will learn that process. The next module will be about storage and something called access control. Have you have the term access control? You have a course in computer security. Hopefully they went through that in that one. So how do we restrict access to files and part of the system? We will also talk about something about storage and something called RAID. How many of you have heard the term RAID? Oh, that's good. The next module, these first modules are 2 weeks. So you have 2 weeks to finish them. The next one will be some roles and features that are common in servers. We have something called DNS. Hand up, how many of you know what DNS is? Okay. You use it every day. Every time you pick up your mobile phone or access the internet, you use DNS, but you don't even know it. It's the thing that you use so you don't have to remember the IP address for different services that you use. So that you can use lnu.se instead of an IP address. That would be quite hard to remember for all the web services that you're using. We'll talk a little about DHCP and file servers, what that is. And we have some other roles and features that are commonly used. Then we have a module that's only 1.5 weeks, something like that. That could be 2 whole courses. So as you understand, we can only scratch the surface here. It's about something called Active Directory. And it's a really big topic, but you will install Active Directory and set up some accounts, but not something in depth. We'll talk something about the group policy and access control here. How do you manage a lot of users and give them access to the correct parts of the system? And the last module won't have a lab. I think it's more of an assignment that you get. And it's about backup, reliability, performance, and troubleshooting. This part, troubleshooting, you will learn throughout the course anyway, because you will step into troubles and you have to troubleshoot the system. Why isn't it working? And hopefully you will get there by yourself or by some of your, me or Petco or someone else in the class. And performance and reliability, it's hard to do in a cloud solution, so you only will read about it and pick some tools, and then we will present that to the other ones in the class. And that's also only 1 week. So the 2 last modules will intervene with each other a little bit. So the lab, you don't have to show the labs for Petco for grading until the week after, when you are actually in this module, because it's not here. We don't have any lab, so it's only on show and tell. So what should you do next? Well, the first thing, of course, is to get registered on the courses. And I think everyone who haven't talked to me about this list should do that after the lecture, and I will go through it and make sure that you get registered for the course. And when you got registered on the course, then you can register for the different groups. That's not online now because I didn't know how many of there were. We need to add another seminar group, I think, for this to work. And then you should start with the first seminar and look at that. Try to find the answer for the different questions and get the book. That's also something you should do right away. But some things that I think that we can talk a little bit about is virtualization. That's not a part of this course, but you will use it. So I think it's good if you have some knowledge about how it works. How many of you have heard the term server virtualization? Okay, not that many. What do we need for running an operating system in terms of hardware? What do we need? The CPU. That's good. Anything else we need? Memory. Anything else? Some sort of storage. Yeah. So we usually have this in a box of some sort. You could argue that for a server, you maybe need some network. But basically, this is what you need. So we have some sort of server, and then on the storage, we install some sort of operating system. And then the memory and CPU handle all the requests. Yeah. So if we want to build up different servers and clients, we will need a lot of these to be able to do that. That will be quite expensive since there are quite a lot of people. So we can use something called virtualization for this. So we still have a machine of some sort. This can be your computer, and that have these objects. Then we can install some sort of software on top of this virtualization engine, like VirtualBox. And that will make it so that we can emulate hardware and simulate CPU, memory, and storage for new computers. So we can have smaller boxes with the same stuff. So CPU, memory, and storage. And install an operating system on that system. And then we can have a lot of these small boxes. And they can have different network groups together, so only these computers can talk to each other and only these. And how many of these can we use? Well, of course, it depends on the host system, as we usually call this one. How much CPU do we have? How many CPUs and how fast are they? How much memory and how much storage? That will be the limitations on how many virtual machines we can run. So this system is a physical one. It's my computer or his computer. And then we install some sort of software that makes these virtual machines. So I'm probably running 4 or 5 of the virtual machines on my computer right now. So this is great when we want to lab, try stuff out. But the last couple of years, these have been used for enterprises and big companies. And yeah, you've probably heard of Amazon, once again, Web Services, yeah. They use a cloud-based version of this. So they have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of machines, hardware that are really good at doing this stuff. So you can run thousands of machines on one of these servers. And then they sell these as a service. So you don't have to bother with all this. You just, oh, I want one of these machines and I want one of that machines. And then I can run that. And we in Kalmar have built one of these systems. So you are going to you just pick out which machine you want to run. And then it takes for a small Linux machine, maybe a couple of seconds to get it up and running. For a Windows machine, 3 or 4 minutes. But that's based on our system. We have quite old hardware. But you will be able to have at least 10 machines, every one of you. So you'll get a quote on how much memory and how much machines you can run. The good thing here is that these are running in the cloud. So you don't have anything installed on your computer. You just use a web interface and create machines. And then you can configure them via the web interface or via terminal that you hook up to the system. And in our solution, you can also get public IPs. So if you want to lab with DNS or web servers that we want to be able to be accessed outside our little bubble, then we can do that. But I will have instruction videos on how to work with our system because that's not a part of this course, but it's something that you need to be able to do the labs. Last year and the years before that, we have used this model. So in the computer hall, we have installed some sort of software. We use VMware, which is another software, and then you set up all the machines by your own. But here you can use a computer in the computer hall or your own computer when you do the labs. It doesn't matter. And they don't get shut down when you shut down your computer because it's in cloud. So I think that we can talk about virtualization for a long time and the benefits and the drawbacks of it, but that's also another part of this course. If you're interested about it, ask in the Slack channel. I can post some good getting started tutorials about that. Our system is based on a system called OpenStack, which is a free software, open source software, which is quite big, but as a lot of different open source projects, they have some problems with not being tested too much before publishing for final release. And I think that's what we have a problem with now because we have bleeding edge. So we're using the last version of the software because we have some something called containers, which we wanted to use, which is like this model, but you can make these little machines really small and really fast to boot up. We talk about 5 to 15 milliseconds to boot up a machine. And we want that in other courses. So that's why we have some problems right now, but hopefully we will get that up and running during this week. But I think you will have stuff to do with this first seminar anyways this week. And I will publish this video about how to install VirtualBox and try and install a virtual machine on your own so that you can see the installation process. Any questions? Okay. Well, that's it for me for this day. Sorry?
Ready?
Yeah, I'm all ready. Yeah. Yes, sorry. There will be a written exam in the end of the course. So to complete this course, you need to complete the 4 labs and have them approved by Petco. And you will need to attend or write the 5 different seminars. And then in the end, we have the written exam. And you will get the grade is mostly based on the written exam, but we will include all the development during the course. So if Petco, you will only get passed or not passed on the seminars and labs, but we will make some notes if you think that you're deserve a star or a bigger grade. Because I know written exam isn't for everyone. Some have problem with expressing themselves on a written exam, but then we feel that that seminar will be a forum for you to be able to express yourself about the knowledge that you have in the different topics. So you should be really prepared before you come to the seminar, because that's a part of the examination process. Okay, so everyone who hasn't get an X in your column in this paper, stay behind, and I will go through every one of you so we can get you registered for the course. And yeah, that's what's next. Thank you.